great. He flies in, interview the next day, starts an argument in the first 20 minutes, interview's over, he's back on a plane that night. So, irrespective of how correct you might be, just remember that the person interviewing you, you kind of need to give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't burn your bridge as soon as you get on the bridge.
Can I just add one to that too, which is don't have any porn in your art portfolio.
Unless that's the job you're going for.
You'll be surprised how much is out there.
I have to completely disagree with this one.
You do have porn?
I'm trying to stick to the question. I went to a job interview recently, and the example that they gave for something I said, I want you to unit test this piece of code. I said, that's a really crap example. And they did offer me the job. So it depends on the person that you're talking to. I mean, if they expect a sycophant, it has to be a sycophant. But if they expect someone who they want to get a handy piece of code to and say, is this a good piece of code? Then if you don't say, this is a crap piece of code, then they're going to say,
oh, I'm talking to like shouting levels of argument. And like, damn it.
The difference between an argument and a debate.
yeah.
And the difference between argument and critical opinion, true. So what you're offering is critical opinion.
Yeah. I was going to add. That's like the interview on Google as well. Like, you have to be able to stand in front of them and say, regardless of if the rest of the team thinks this, I think something different. And my opinion, I mean, you hired me because you respect you value my opinion. So you have to be able to offer that in an interview. Impressive.
They didn't.
Well, Google didn't hire me.
This sounds really obvious. And
Oh, sorry.
One last genre tip. It's totally okay when they ask you, they're like, hey, so, what do you know about like hardcore low-level Windows programming? To go, nothing. I have no idea, but like, I can learn pretty fast.
Oh yeah, never lie.
Yeah, no, they're
Never lie.
like, and just tell them you don't know anything about anything. And, yeah, honestly, like if they go, oh well, so you're not very well read, but you can read really fast. We can use that.
this is a weird thing. It's kind of obvious. This is kind of real short anecdote. But I was speaking to someone who just started a new game store in Melbourne a few years ago, and that probably narrows it down quite significantly. But I said, how's it going? And he said, well, I love the shop. I'm actually finding it a bit depressing. I said, why? He said, well, developers come in and buy games explicitly for the purpose of stealing mechanics. They say, I've heard about this mechanic and we're doing a first-person game, or we're doing a combat game in the air, and we're going to buy these games and steal mechanics. And actually, I've started to really hate both developers and games. And so, not that. This isn't about playing games so that you can go on safari, but just back to gaining game literacy for the world in which you're going to be working in, the world know and understand the peaks of game design, which has a cultural history of peaks and troughs, and understand that those games have a lot to speak. So if you don't know about Game Ground and Panzer Dragoon Auto, it's an opportunity for you to go back and revisit those moments. I understand that there are things that are beautiful that have passed, and if you let them go and you just play like Call of Duty or whatever, that sounds really obvious, but there's that to say.
Play, when you say more, it's not just more of the game, more if you're an FPS person, don't just play endless FPSs, go out and play other games, play role-playing games, play Hush games, play Facebook games, play board games, and go back and play games from the 80s and play games from the 70s if you can get your hands on them, and games from 2,000 years ago, if you play more games, not just the same game in different guises. Absolutely necessary.
I would say this is also very important in a commercial development situation, because you don't always get to work on the games that you like. You might play a lot of first-person shooters, but you could end up doing RTS or something simple.
Barbie games.
And then
Chrome made several,
an addendum to this is also read more books, watch more movies, go for more walks outside. Do things other than playing games is the other thing. Your inspiration for new games will not come from other games. Your inspiration for new games will come from other interests. Sid Meier's famously, quoted as saying civilization came from his interest in just reading about the history of mankind, and that became civilization again.
Just on that point, I read that Miyamoto's been banned about talking about his hobbies because of people guessing about what game is about to release.
I bet it would be like a Mario game. You heard it here first. Yes. Mario. Oh, it was one day.
Actually, just on this subject, the one thing that I don't think was touched on is play the games you hate.
Yes.
Like, not just the ones you like, not the ones you don't always play. You're going to learn the most from the game you actually dislike playing the most. Just because you've got nothing else to do when you're playing it except to dissect what's going on.
You should figure out why you hate it. Like that's an important lesson to learn.
Oh, that becomes very self-evident quite quickly.
Plan for the fact that people won't read.
I was actually watching a tester play through it. I said, why aren't you doing this particular, why aren't you using this ability? And he said, well, I didn't know how to do it. I said, well, did you play through the tutorial? He said, yes. I'm like, well, there's a section of the tutorial that explains how to do it. He goes, I just pressed X.
Well, I hate tutorials.
The game type guys kind of did that recently with Monarch 2, Monarchy, or one of those. And it's to get around the fact that people might not read. Every piece of text on the screen gets read to you in an annoying Sean Connery-like voice. There's pages and pages and pages. And so,
James, why would you do that?
well, they could dig around it so that people just don't read necessarily. And so,
That's a bit little.
so when you do this, don't just read it out. Do
Yeah.
something like, the next thing that happens is there's a character in front of you doing the action or whatever, so that you get an intuitive sense of it's possible and you probably should know how to do it. Because otherwise people will go into the sound settings, go to get the voice and just turn that down. It's around your own voice.
And this doesn't just apply to like instructions in action games, it also applies to RPGs. People won't read your dialogue. You might have pages and pages of your character dialogue. And people will say, where's my next menu choice? I pick that one. And so if there's anything important in there, make sure that the player can get back and find the fact that they needed to get to, or the map location or whatever, in another in-game means, because they're not going to read your endless dialogue anyway. There's some piece of in-game information I need to extract from this after all of these are thousands of
That's one of the principles of
yeah, and if no one's going to read it, then why put it in there even in the first place? You've got to work it. Because, well, there are ways of telling the story and they're not. I mean, bad dialogue isn't going to get read. You can make good dialogue that will get read and be enjoyed, but you've got to remember that it is a reading process, and you can't just assume, hey, I've written this really great dialogue, I'm in love with what I've written, everyone else is going to read it and enjoy it the same way.
which is why the Mass Effect kind of dialogue works so well, because they keep you engaged and clicking.
Even in novels, I get guilty of skipping large portions of text and just looking for the next series of dialogue because that's where I know the action's going to get interesting again. Really? Yeah. It's a boring novel. Paragraphs just, oh yeah, that's a paragraph about the latest text. And it's sort of, oh, here we go, we're talking about it. Yeah.
Take some of these questions.
Just wanted to link back to the point you made earlier about the user is intelligent and don't treat them as if they're stupid, and kind of link this back to this point. I've been finding it's a hard line to tread because you want to make the player feel safe so that they can explore their ideas, but you don't want to handhold them. Treat them stupid and say you're going to follow this path. I wanted to know what your experience is with that, and just tell a bit more about that, because I found that that's really important. It's you make your game, you sit somebody down in front of it, and right then and there, when they decide to continue playing your game or not, what you found, I mean, your whatever your magic rule is for that.
I would say the best method is to show the player rather than tell the player. Essentially, if the player sees it being done and sees the positive effect, they will replicate that action. If they see a wall of text when they're in the middle of doing something, they click through it.
Adam, I can see the hand up.
And I think there's this whole like exploratory game design, less talk, more rock thing that is really cool. There's a whole other way to read this, which is text in the language you understand is only really good for a small section of the earth. And a game with less text, period, is going to be way easier for people in way more interesting places to get into the thing that you just made without having to either pay for translation or wait for fans who have persevered and are bilingual to make it accessible for you.
I think some of us, I know I've spoken to some of you about this before in kind of weird context, but when you're young and you're playing games, you don't really need to know another language. So if you moved a lot as a kid or whatever, games was a universal translator. It's like, what do you do? I don't understand what you just said. What do you come back to my place and play Mario? It's just universal. It's absolutely great. And
did you ever have to translate English dialogue text into German dialogue text and try and get the bloody thing to fit on the screen? Well, no, you don't want too much text because it's a beautiful language. They could use less characters. Gentlemen up the back.
Another quick one on that point is hardly anybody ever reads game design documents.
Then stop writing them.
So one of the things I've seen is actually trying to make it into a more concise method, like putting it into a spreadsheet, people can understand what's happening. But if you have a game design document which is several hundred pages long, your team doesn't read it.
There's a great PowerPoint, like I can't understand why guys can access on one-page design documents. That you can,
Which is what?
I just wanted to say that in relation to the previous point, one of the, if you're going to have less text, it means that the games industry as a whole needs to get used to the idea that it's going to become more touchy-feely, that skills rooted in drama and performance and all of
Those other spaces are going to become more and more and more important in terms of enhancing communication. Talking about Mass Effect, some of the physical performance of the characters in relation to one another is so wooden and so bad that actually the text could be the best in the world, the voice acting, everything. But if that physical body on the screen isn't telling the story, in the same way that the dialogue and the sound design is, then you're screwed basically. The point I wanted to make in relation to the point about game design documents is that the advertising design industry, the film industry, the animation industry have really fantastic models of creating style guides and pitch documents that are concise and imaginative and, really kind of tell the publisher and the producer what you want to do in a confident and economic way. I think one of the problems of the traditional gigantic game design document is that it constructs this view of the games designer as an obsessive, meticulous person who doesn't really have a bigger picture. Like, they're trying to create a bigger picture, but it's just a kind of mess of detail. So, yeah.
I think one of the inherent difficulties with game design documents is the game is an interactive thing and the game design document isn't. Which leads, I think, to the next one, which is the prototyping. I think we've already touched on it a bit. The prototyping is a way of writing a game design document almost. So a prototype to say, this is a playable version of my game design document, and it's a much better way of actually communicating among your team as well as testing your ideas. Is to say, okay, here's what the game space is going to feel like when we actually are doing it, rather than saying, here's a list of what the rules are going to be, and that's all.
With regards to game design documents, I suppose you should approach designing it as an artifact itself, make it more active. Maybe use a wiki so people can engage with it in a more sort of present way than reading through a stack of papers or a big PDF. So it's all about design, and I suppose with regards to some of the other things said about accessibility, I'm concerned that the way we try and create flowing games and create this kind of optimal sort of intensity for people to go through an experience is limiting the kind of experiences that we can have in interactions, because game design is about interactions, and there should be